Imagine stepping into a time machine and the doors open to the glorious 60s. On the streets of America, the radio blares with electric guitars. Each drum beat seems to tear the night sky apart. This is the era of melodies that dare to break all limits. Elvis returns to the throne. The Beatles make the whole world chant, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And Aretha Franklin turns every note into a spirited call to respect.
Come on, baby, let's do the twist.
How long has it been since you let music really touch your heart? Right now, let me take a trip back in time to discover 10 legendary songs of the 60s. Hits you thought you had forgotten, but still have enough power to ignite your passion and make you press play again. Let's go! Suspicious Minds by Elvis Presley.
We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out.
In 1969, when many people thought that Elvis Presley's glory had faded into the past, the king of rock and roll suddenly released Suspicious Minds and immediately blew up the music world.
Believe a word I'm saying.
With just the intro guitar and strong drum beats, the song pulled listeners into a love story that was both passionate and full of doubt. The opening lyrics, "We're caught in a trap, I can't walk out," were like a sigh of two hearts trapped in a vortex of jealousy, unable to leave each other even though they knew they were hurting themselves.
Would I still see suspicion in your eyes?
The special point lies in the soul pop and rock harmony, making the melody both poignant and fiery. Elvis's warm, husky voice, sometimes soft, sometimes urgent, fully conveyed the torment of love, a beautiful, unforgettable pain. Upon its release, the song quickly rose to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming the final #1 hit in Elvis's illustrious career and a brilliant mark in his spectacular comeback.
Let our love survive. Oh no.
More than half a century later, Suspicious Minds still makes listeners shiver every time it sounds. It is not just a song, but proof that even when a career seems to have stalled, true talent can still explode to create an immortal legacy, affirming Elvis Presley's eternal position in world music history.
Suspicious mind.
She Loves You by the Beatles. Released in 1964, She Loves You was the musical bomb that turned the Beatles from a British phenomenon into a global sensation. With just 3 words, "yeah, yeah, yeah," ringing out at the beginning of the song, millions of young American audiences screamed, opening the unprecedented era of Beatlemania. The song's melody is a perfect blend of bright pop and vibrant rock. Ringo Starr's drums are pounding. George Harrison's electric guitar is brilliant, while the Lennon-McCartney harmonies blend like the joyful cheers of youth. The content is simple but full of vitality. A young man excitedly announces the good news to his friend. She loves you. That positive message, combined with the repeated refrain of "yeah, yeah, yeah," makes the song a dose of happiness vitamin for an entire generation. When it debuted in the US, She Loves You quickly took the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100, paving the way for the British invasion that changed the face of popular music. More than half a century later, just hearing the first few notes still makes listeners' hearts flutter, as if being directly infused with the youthful energy of the 60s. I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. In 1965, the Rolling Stones took the world by storm when they released I Can't Get No Satisfaction. With just the first few seconds of Keith Richards' blistering guitar riff, the song immediately etched itself into the minds of listeners, becoming one of the most famous riffs in rock history.
I can't get no satisfaction.
Satisfaction is not just a song, but also the roar of a young generation yearning for freedom. frustrated with the rigid rules of consumer society. The lyrics, "I can't get no satisfaction," resounded defiantly, imbued with the rebellious spirit of the 60s. Mick Jagger, with his characteristic husky voice and powerful performance style, turned that message into a manifesto of life. Dare to fight boredom. Dare to demand new things for yourself. Upon its release, the song quickly rose to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and quickly became an iconic song, transforming the Rolling Stones from a promising young band to a rival to the Beatles. Nearly 60 years later, every time the familiar guitar riff sounds, the audience still feels a jolt of electricity running down their spines. Satisfaction not only left its mark in rock history, but also became an immortal song for those who aspire to break the limits and live their passion to the fullest. Respect by Aretha Franklin.
What you want? Baby, I got it. What you need? You know I got it.
When Aretha Franklin released Respect in April 1967, she transformed an Otis Redding song into a timeless declaration of equality and self-respect. With fiery, soulful harmonies, glowing brass, and a voice that was both powerful and husky, Aretha gave the song a whole new lease of life. Upon its release, the resounding letters in the chorus, R-E-S-P-E-C-T, instantly became a slogan for the civil rights and feminist movements that were surging across America. Just a few weeks later, the song reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 on June 3rd, 1967, and held the top spot for 2 consecutive weeks, cementing Aretha as the Queen of Soul. The success didn't stop there. At the February 1968 Grammy Awards, Respect won 2 major awards, Best Rhythm and Blues Recording and Best Female R&B Vocal Performance, cementing Aretha's status as a legend. From the civil rights marches of the late 60s to major celebrations like its 50th anniversary in 2017, Respect continues to resonate as a reminder of every human being's right to be respected. Light My Fire by The Doors. In April 1967, The Doors released Light My Fire, the song that transformed them from a small Los Angeles club phenomenon into a major name in the psychedelic rock movement. The song opens with Ray Manzarek's long, hypnotic organ riff, immediately creating a different musical space, both dreamy and fiery.
Know that it will be untrue. Know that I would be alive.
Jim Morrison's deep, seductive, and mysterious voice guides listeners through a message that has 2 layers. A burning invitation to love and a desire to break all the limits of contemporary society. The mix of rock, jazz, and improvised melody makes the song a new musical experience compared to the radio standards of the time.
Try now, we can only lose, and our love become a funeral pyre.
Light My Fire quickly conquered the public, reaching the #1 position on the Billboard Hot 100 on July 29, 1967, and holding the top spot for 3 consecutive weeks. This success not only made The Doors one of the most important bands of the 60s, but also opened the door for psychedelic music to explode in America.
Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire.
California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas.
All the leaves are brown.
Released in 1965, California Dreamin' quickly became the song of a generation of dreamers. Inspired by the gloomy winter days in New York, John and Michelle Phillips wrote this song when they both longed for the warm California sunshine. From the opening line, "All the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray," listeners can feel the sadness of winter mixed with the dream of escaping to find freedom and sunshine. The melody of California Dreamin' is a delicate blend of folk and pop, with the four-voice harmony typical of the mamas and the papas. The gentle flute solo and rustic guitar background create a space that is both nostalgic and urging the footsteps. Over time, California Dreamin' has become a symbol of the bohemian American West lifestyle and the desire for freedom of the 60s. To this day, every time the melody plays, listeners still feel like they are drawn on a journey towards the California sunshine, a desire that never gets old. When a Man Loves a Woman by Percy, Sledge. Released in 1966, When a Man Loves a Woman propelled Percy Sledge from an unknown singer to a soul legend overnight. The song tells the story of a man who falls so deeply in love that he is willing to sacrifice everything, even ignore reason and accept the faults of his beloved. The lyrics are honest and simple, but touch the heart. When a man loves a woman, can't keep his mind on nothing else. The slow, emotional melody with the ringing organ and soft brass creates the perfect backdrop for Percy Sledge's husky, emotional voice. It is the natural sobbing, like a confession without embellishment, that makes listeners believe he is singing from the heart. The song quickly reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 on May 28, 1966, and also topped the R&B chart for 2 consecutive weeks. It was also the biggest and most iconic hit of Percy Sledge's career, ushering in a new era for soul ballads in the mid-1960s. Sittin' On, The Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding.
Sitting in the morning sun.
In late December 1967, just days after recording this song, Otis Redding died in a plane crash. In early January 1968, Stax released Sittin' On, The Dock of the Bay, and listeners immediately felt that this was not only a gentle soul song, but also an emotional farewell to a talent who had just passed away.
I left my home in Georgia.
The slow melody, the sound of waves, and the whistling sound at the end of the song create a quiet, contemplative atmosphere. The lyrics tell of a man sitting by the San Francisco harbor, silently watching life pass by, thinking about the lost days. Redding's warm, sorrowful voice makes each line of the song like a last breath, both peaceful and imbued with sadness.
On the dock of a bay.
The song quickly touched the hearts of global audiences and rose to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming the first posthumous song to reach #1. Dock of the Bay also earned Otis Redding 2 Grammy Awards in 1969. Best R&B Song and Best Male R&B Vocal Performance. To this day, the whistling sound at the end of the song still evokes the image of a free spirit, leaving an immortal legacy for soul music and for the history of world music. I Heard It Through the Grapevine by Marvin Gaye.
Ooh, I bet you're wondering how I knew.
Released in 1968, I Heard It Through the Grapevine quickly became Motown's soul hit and Marvin Gaye's most iconic song. The lyrics tell the heartbreaking story of discovering a lover's infidelity through rumors. I heard it through the grapevine, a metaphor for word of mouth spreading like a vine.
When I found out yesterday.
The music is full of groove, heavy bass, pounding drums, and tense strings create an atmosphere that is both mysterious and seductive. Marvin Gaye's voice is wistful and emotional. Each line seems to penetrate the listener's heart, turning the sad love story into an unforgettable musical experience.
But these tears I can't hold inside. Losing.
After its release, the song rose to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and held the top spot for 4 consecutive weeks, and also topped the R&B chart for 7 weeks. This became the biggest hit of Marvin Gaye's career, cementing his status as one of the greatest soul vocalists of all time.
Not much longer would you be mine.
Runaway by Shannon. Released in 1961, Runaway propelled Shannon from a young Michigan singer to international stardom in just one summer. The song opens with Max Crook's Musitron, a strange and futuristic sound that immediately intrigues and captivates listeners.
And as I still walk on, I think of
The lyrics tell of a man's pain when his lover leaves him without saying goodbye. The haunting line, "I'm a-walkin' in the rain," teardrops falling and I feel the pain, encapsulates the mood of loneliness and regret, both sad and hypnotic.
you were here by me to end
The combination of Shannon's soaring, wistful vocals and the magical Musitron created a rock and roll song unlike any other of its time.
She ran away.
To this day, Runaway is still considered one of the gems of early 60s rock and roll, with a melody that is both unusual and timeless, making every time it plays it seem to bring listeners back to the enchanting explosion of popular music. And that's it. 10 legendary songs of the 60s, each of which not only topped the Billboard charts, but also made its mark in pop culture history. From the rebellious guitars of the Rolling Stones, the explosive soul of Aretha Franklin, to the nostalgic melody of Otis Redding, all painted a musical era full of creativity and freedom. Even though it's been more than half a century, these melodies are still alive and easily touch the hearts of modern listeners, proving the immortal power of music. Transcending time, crossing borders, connecting all generations. Now it's time for you to share your feelings. Which song on this list makes you want to press play immediately? Leave a comment below so we can relive those golden memories together. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next musical journeys, where we continue to explore forgotten treasures that still shine brightly in the endless flow of music history.